So, welcome to Casual Chats with Bangi. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time joining me on the channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button, the red subscribe button, which is somewhere here at the bottom on the screen. And that is so that you can be able to be part of the channel and see all my previous videos and see all the videos that I'm going to post in the future. Casual Chats with Bangi is exactly that. We have chats about normal stuff that affect us as people of South Africa, people of the world. Thanks a lot for joining me on this one. As you can see by the caption of this video, this is a part 2. I've got a part 1 which I shot. The immediate previous video to this one was a part 1 to this. So if you did not see part 1, I would implore you to actually pause this video and go watch that one first so that you can get a background as to what it is that I'm going to be talking about, because I'm going to be talking more on, an advanced stage of the things that I already spoke about. So for your own purpose, for your own benefit of getting the background, please go watch the video that I posted before this one. Is still under Casual Chats with Bangi, and it is titled what it is that we can do to fight gender-based violence as men in South Africa. So please pause and go back and check out that video. Gender-based violence is one area where we are doing terribly bad and we are not organized. We don't seem to care as much as we care about other things as we should with gender-based violence. Women are dropping like flies right next to us, one after the other, on our social media. And what are we doing about that? The best thing we're doing about that is tweeting, and it's putting up Facebook posts. And I don't want to be that guy, man, a few years down the line where my child is going to ask me, so Papa, when I during this pandemic of gender-based violence in South Africa, what did you do? And all I can tell him is that I posted on my social media and I said hashtag not in my name, or I posted and I said hashtag not all men are trash, or whatever. That is not enough. Not in a generation where we can show so much willpower in supporting things that don't even get us paid. That is not enough at all. Our social media hashtags, we need to start getting practical. And I've got suggestions on how we're going to get practical. I want to challenge the men of South Africa for us to get pregnant. On the 4th of July, I've had a look at the calendar. I would like to propose that we do something as men in the country, all of us. And that something is all of us, on the 4th of July, which is 10 days from tomorrow, we all come together. It will be a Saturday. We all come together in our different regions, in our different towns, the same way that Kaizer Chiefs supporters fans exist in Mpumalanga, in KZN, in all over the country, and they have meetings. We should do the same around gender-based violence issues as men, where we are going to come together on the 4th of July all over the country, and we are going to start discussing what it is that we as men can do, where we're going to start having plans, laid out plans as men, and say, this is what we're going to do with regards to gender-based violence. We don't need the government to be involved in this thing. We need our own passion. I don't want to be like Tsegopule's uncle, where I'm going to be talking simply because now I am affected. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going to be talking about how important gender-based violence is. I don't want to wait until I'm affected. I think we should start acting before we're even affected. As a matter of fact, the fact that it's happening to any woman at all means we are affected already. We don't have to be family with that woman. And it is a male problem. It is not a woman's problem. It is our problems. We are the ones that are raping. We are the ones that are killing. We are the ones that are abusing. So we need to start discussing issues around this as men and solving this thing. And on the 4th of July, I would like to challenge us men to do something that we always do for fun. On the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th of February, which is the men's conference, I would like to call upon all South African men to have a real men's conference. Now, what are we doing at this real men's conference on the 4th of July 2020? You there in your hometown. I'm going to do it in my hometown. I'm going to mobilize the guys in my hometown, and we're going to find a place somewhere, whether it's a hall, a community hall, or a church, or a bigger venue in town or even the legislature in town, because those are public spaces, we're going to find a place where we as men are going to come together and we're going to lay out an agenda. The agenda is, what are we doing to fight gender-based violence? And we're all going to come up with ideas. Now, I've always known that I want to do something to help out with gender-based violence, which I'm sure is the case with a lot of men. But I just didn't know what it is that I was going to do until, as you can see from my previous video, it's when Zozi won Miss Universe that an idea was sparked where I did this Take Up Space tour, this Take Up Space trip with 50 young girls from Bloemfontein, from the Free State to our Tambo International. I was inspired by Zozi's victory. Now, did I all of a sudden, because of Zozi, want to help? No, I've always wanted to help. I just didn't know what I was going to do. So that is probably the case with a lot of brothers out there watching. You don't know what it is that you're going to do. So that is the importance of having a real men's conference where we're going to discuss things. So maybe somebody in your group is going to come up with something that's appealing to you that you feel, okay, cool, this I would like to join. We are allowed to be at this men's conference, come up with 10, 20 concepts and ideas, and people can identify with them and be like, I'm going to be part of this one and I'm going to do this one. Now, at this conference, people could come up with concepts such as, hey, listen, I think we should start a men's talking platform where men can come together and just talk, because there is a root to all these problems. That why are men so aggressive? Why are men so abusive? There is a root to all of those things, and we need to start talking about those things, especially before other men continue, and especially with the guys who are currently abusive of their girlfriends, where we need to have platforms where they can start talking about it. The psychology of humans, there's industrial psychology. We understand industrial psychology, but we never really speak about the psychology of us as men. And as men, I think we can come up with solutions on, can we start talking about our emotions, our feelings, before we start taking them out on women? Can we start talking about the things that really are deep and dark inside of us? Can we create a safe space, a culture for us to talk about these things critically as men? And that's a suggestion that could come up with from some of the people that you could be sitting with, and you could feel like, yeah, I want to participate in that, or in that movement. Somebody else could come out and say, okay, cool, talking is one thing, but we also got to get practical, because some of the guys who are going to rape and going to kill and going to abuse are probably not part of us. But what's going to happen if one of us does it, or if somebody out there does it? So we need to start some sort of a policing forum. Somebody can come up with a policing forum suggestion. Now, there's two things that I need to emphasize: that we need to, whatever we come up with needs to be non-violent and non-criminal. Everything that we come up with, non-violent, non-criminal, must be at the top of the priority list. But we could come up with tough things that can be put in, that could be put into place, that if we found out that this boy or this guy or this man in our community is abusing his girlfriend, that's one man, and there's 30 of us here. Guys, we need to organize ourselves and go confront this guy. All 30 of us. 30 of us. We all go into this guy and we all going to confront him for his actions. His girlfriend may not want to lay a charge against him, but we know that he's doing it. We need to confront him. We need to make him aware that we do not appreciate that. We're not going to allow him to be a part of our society like every day is normal. And we're going to act like, it's none of our business. It actually is our business that there's a young sister who's being abused. Now, some of the guys watching now are probably abusing their girlfriends as you speak. And y'all need to come through as well to the conference, and we can talk about what it is that you're going through, maybe through the psychological the psychology group that's going to be more interested in speaking about psychology, where you can start getting help out of that, because we need to also start pulling people out from the things that they're stuck in. So this men's conference thing should really be something that's going to say that we need to start finding practical solutions on what it is that we can do to start fighting gender-based violence, instead of just tweeting about it right here in our own communities. In Bloemfontein, we're definitely going to talk about, those suggestive ideas that what are we going to do when we find out that somebody is abusing their girlfriend, or they have raped, or they have killed, getting in touch with the police, all of us putting our resources together in order to make sure that this one guy, we shine a spotlight on him until he is arrested, until justice is served, and we remove him from society. He goes down to do his time, and he can get rehabilitated and come back into a society where he understands that his actions will not be tolerated. And if somebody is doing that stuff, he needs to understand that their actions will not be tolerated, whether the charges are laid against them or not, but their actions will not be tolerated in our society. We need to start creating cultures and environments where this idea of gender-based violence is not welcome, and people know and understand and they can feel it, and then we can start bringing the numbers down. But this is just me speaking off the top of my head. There's more people out there smarter than me, far more organized than me, I'm pretty sure of it, that will show up to these conferences. So on the 4th of July, I challenge South African men to say, we're having a men's conference in my community, in my area, in my neighborhood. I'm going to do it in my community, in my neighborhood. And it'll be great if I could say on the 4th of July in Bloemfontein, we're doing it. But then, hey, in Cape Town, they've also joined us. They're doing it. And in East London, they're joining us. In Emelo, they're joining us. In Nelspruit, in Mafikeng, in Joburg, in Soweto, in everywhere around the country. They're also doing it on the 4th of July, I beg your pardon, 4th of July 2020. And where men are coming together, even if it's just 5 guys, from 5 guys, we can build it to 20 guys, 100 guys, etc. That is what I would really like to challenge South African men. 4th of July, let's have a men's conference. And we start the countdown tomorrow, 10 days to go to that. Please get in touch with me if you would like some sort of support. If you would like, put your hand up and say, hey, Bangi, I'm also going to be joining on this thing from my community. I'm going to register my town. And, I'm going to be doing a countdown, 10 days to go. This town has decided to join. This city or this neighborhood or this Kasi has decided to join. 9 days to go, 8 days to go, 7 days, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'd love to, get this going with you guys. Let's do something that's going to be real and measurable. 4th of July. And the reason why we're doing that is so that we can have plans, so that by the 31st of July, we can have a report back. I don't want to go into another Women's Month and women still feel like the men are not there to help them. Let's get our act and let's get ourselves in shape now and start winning back the trust from the women in our lives.